Here we go. If you want to get in contact with me, the best way oh yeah, that's right. This is video number 2 today, okay? If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, if you want to tell me you love my beard, the best way to do it is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Johnny Fastlane here. So, Jermaine Dupri is saying that Jay-Z did not talk him out of an NFL deal. Meanwhile, Dame Dash is saying Jay-Z been grimy. Drake is being sued for In My Feelings and Nice for What? And the NYPD shuts down Cardi B. Let's talk hip hop.
The reason I came up here today is to just make sure that I let everybody know he never told me don't do what I was doing.
So, y'all see, right? So Jermaine Dupri did an interview, right? And he basically was like, yo, the reason why I'm even here today is because I need to let you know that Jay-Z did not talk me out of an NFL deal, right? And this is crazy because y'all know what's going on, right? Basically, bottom line is this. I'm just gonna kind of catch you guys up on exactly what's going on, so I'm not just talking and you're like, what the hell is he talking about, right? So the bottom line is this. Jay-Z decided to sign on with the NFL to take a deal with them, basically doing 2 things: to establish a platform for social justice, basically so that football players who kind of want to say something about social justice or what they believe in have a safe place to do that. Meanwhile, they won't get any repercussions from the league. And then also Jay-Z is going to be able to curate and handpick acts and people for the halftime show, right? And this comes after, you know, a couple of months of Jay-Z specifically saying, yo, I wouldn't mess with the Super Bowl. I wouldn't mess with the Super Bowl. Them do, or the NFL. Those guys are racist and I would never deal with them, right? He called up Travis Scott and told Travis Scott not to perform at the Super Bowl. Travis Scott was like, dude, you bugging. Click. And Travis Scott probably knew that Jay-Z was going to make a move like this. So that's why he was like, I'm not listening to Jay-Z. Why is he talking me out of money when he's going to go get the bag, right? So anyway, Jermaine Dupri does an interview, right? And he's like, well, a lot of people on social media have been saying that, it's Funk Flex has been saying that Jermaine Dupri was talked out of a deal by Jay-Z as well. So just like Jay-Z called Travis Scott, Jay-Z also calls Jermaine Dupri and tells him, hey man, don't do that. Because it seems like maybe they offered Jermaine Dupri the job to be able to curate people for the halftime show and kind of handpick people and get the halftime show going a little bit better than it's been in the past few years, right? And Jay-Z, again, according to Funk Flex, and a lot of people on social media, hey, Jermaine Dupri, don't do that. Don't take that deal. You know that the NFL doesn't mess with our culture. Click. And then Jermaine Dupri says, okay, cool. Well, Jermaine Dupri does an interview and he's saying, look, man, I talk to Jay-Z all the time because that's my homeboy, and he did not talk me out of no NFL deal. He didn't talk me out of no halftime deal. That's not what happened, right? And I'm just here to clear the air. That's basically what Jermaine Dupri said, right? He also said that, yeah, I talked to Jay-Z and I talked to Funk Flex, and I told Funk Flex that I talked to Jay-Z and that we had spoke about the deal, but Jay-Z didn't tell me not to take it, right? Jermaine Dupri was saying that Funk Flex kind of took what he said and ran with it, right? But Jermaine Dupri didn't really get into any details. Like, if I'm on the phone with somebody, right, and I'm grown and they're grown and we're having a conversation and you are on the phone telling me, hey man, yeah, me and Jay-Z were on the phone talking about this deal, then why would I get in my head that he talked you out of the deal? You know what I'm saying? Or that he made you want to not do the deal because he wanted to do the deal, or whatever the case may be. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm trying to figure out if Jermaine Dupri is lying to us or if he really just trying to clear the air and tell the truth and dispel rumors about Jay-Z and this whole NFL deal, right? Because my whole thing is like, I know Funk Flex and Jay-Z have a history, right? I know that Funk Flex kind of doesn't like Jay-Z but does respect Jay-Z, right? And I know that Funk Flex, as soon as he hears something negative about Jay-Z, will take that and run with it, right? But I don't think that Funk Flex would just make up something and say, oh, Jermaine Dupri told me that Funk Flex, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, that Jay-Z, I don't know if Funk Flex would go as far as to make something up, because that's his credibility that he has. And Funk Flex has been credible for the last 25 years. I mean, let's be real, right? So yes, he exaggerates a lot of stuff. Yes, he goes in on people, but he doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't remember one time that Funk Flex lied, right? I don't know, man. It's like, who cares, right? Like, but anyway, so then Dame Dash does an interview with No Jumper, Adam 22, right? And Dame Dash basically was like,
I mean, everybody knows Jay's shit. Like that, everyone knows that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
alright, so Dame Dash, right? And this is crazy too, right? Because again, somebody else who has a personal beef, and you cannot really listen to people who, I mean, you can listen to them, but you have to try to sift through the personal beef that they have with an individual before you can say, okay, yes, that's fact. You know, they're not just sitting here being objective. Funk Flex has something personal with Jay-Z, and so does Dame Dash, right? So Dame Dash basically says, hey, everybody knows Jay-Z's a grimy dude. Like, that's common knowledge in the industry, right? There's people, of course, that don't know Jay-Z personally, and they just know his image and they look at him one way, right? But in the industry and in the business, according to Dame Dash, he's saying that a lot of people do know, especially people that were around Jay-Z, that he's underhanded as far as just him as a person, not even business-wise, because, you know, being underhanded in business is one thing, but being underhanded as a person is a whole nother thing, right? Being underhanded in business, that's being ruthless, that's being smart, that's being business-minded, and there's a lot of underhanded business people who are good men, who are good women, who are good people, right? But when you're underhanded in your personal relationships, that's something completely different, right? Then you're just like a jerk, you know what I'm saying? And so basically Dame Dash, even though he started talking business, saying that Jay-Z's underhanded with business because he would call you and he would tell you not to do something and then turn around and go do it. That's what Dame Dash just said, right? He also said that that he brought up a personal situation, like I'm talking to him about a girl or something, or a woman or a female that I like or have something to do with. Jay-Z would then say, I wouldn't do it, or whatever the case may be, and then turn around the following day and Jay-Z done wifed the girl, right? And so that's crazy to me, right? So that's what Dame Dash said, right? So that whole situation between, I mean, and so clearly, you know, Dame Dash was working with Jay-Z for years and years and years. Clearly, you know, that they must got some kind of beef about a female or whatever, but it's just not about a female. It's about a whole plethora of things that I'm sure Dame Dash could sit there for 10 days talking about his beef and everything that goes on with Jay-Z. But it's basically like he just kind of was building a kind of character, like a mental, like he wanted you to feel what Jay-Z's character is like, and basically he gave two examples of how grimy Jay-Z is, right? Then he says he doesn't know about the situation personally with Jermaine Dupri, but what he can say is that Jay-Z could see Jay-Z calling up Jermaine Dupri, telling him not to take that, and then, you know, going on and doing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of ruthless person or grimy person that Jay-Z is. And this is coming from somebody who has personally known Jay-Z for years and years and years, but also somebody, again, who's personally known Jay-Z for years and years and years. So obviously, you know, they got their own personal issues. So I don't know, man. Like, was Jermaine Dupri sent to do that one interview to clear Jay-Z's name and make everything look good? Also, yesterday, an announcement came out saying that Jay-Z is not going to be part owner in any team in the NFL. So then that makes me think like, okay, if he was going to be part owner, maybe that means he kind of maybe will have a say in what's going on and try to change the culture of the NFL from within. But if he's not going to be part owner, then he won't even have that kind of power to change the culture of the NFL from within. So then that does mean that, yeah, he did do it just for the money, right? And the reason why Kaepernick was nailing was not because, you know, the NFL is racist. The reason why Kaepernick was nailing was because black men are being killed by, black unarmed men are being killed by the police. So Kaepernick never said nothing about, you know, the NFL is racist and I want to protest against the NFL. It's that the NFL didn't like the fact that he was kneeling, so that's why he didn't get a job. But he never said he wanted to protest against the NFL. So yeah, he accepted money in his settlement. He has to pay bills, right? But the whole situation is that Kaepernick was doing it for police brutality, right? And Jay-Z cannot change police brutality from within inside the NFL because no owner, no football player, no advertiser has the power to stop police from shooting unarmed black men. So I think that we're getting everything kind of mixed up and crossed up, right? And the fact that Jay-Z's doing this deal with the NFL only kind of shows that maybe, because we haven't seen what's gonna really happen yet, but just maybe it seems like Jay-Z's being a hypocrite. Maybe they gave him an offer that he can't refuse, and you know, maybe the NFL is using Jay-Z's influence over black people as kind of like the mayor of black people. Like if you ever watch Boardwalk Empire, you know, Chalky White was the person that they would always go to, you know, and say, hey man, you need to get these black people, you know, doing this and doing that. And Chalky was like, okay, I'm gonna try to get them to do whatever, because he was the top black gangster, right? So maybe Jay-Z is like today's Chalky White, and they're like, yo, Jay-Z, you need to get these black people back on playing, you know, football and, you know, the video game and watching football, because we're losing a lot of money. And Jay-Z said yes. And for him to even not have a stake in the NFL or NFL team means that he won't have that much power. So yeah, I don't know how he's gonna change anything, but let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, so Drake is being sued, right, for Nice for What and for In My Feelings. And for y'all, I mean, y'all know, right, Nice for What, that samples Lauryn Hill. In My Feelings is that Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? And both of the songs sound very similar to each other and basically are like part 1 and part 2 of the same song. And those songs were like fire last year during the summertime, and everybody was doing the In My Feelings challenge outside their car and all that stuff like that, right? And it has that kind of like New Orleans bounce, right? So there's this rapper or artist in New Orleans called Sam Scully who says that he dropped some songs that sounded just like this back in the year 2000, like 19 years ago, right? And that Drake kind of basically bit off of his beat and everything, right? It's not saying that Drake stole his beat, the whole exact beat, but you know how like y'all can go on YouTube and listen to like a type beat, like a YBN Namir type of beat, or a whatever type of beat. Well, those type beats, I guess what it's saying is that Drake kind of heard the Sam Scully joint and then had like Murder on the beats, because that's not nice to, you know, reproduce and reconstruct those beats, right? And then also Big Frida is on Nice for What, and for her, or what, yeah, Big Frida's on Nice for What, right? And so she, I guess, you know, she's from New Orleans, so maybe she's the one who kind of heard it first and kind of said, yo, I know this cool bounce or whatever like that. Like, I don't know, right? But there are a lot of similar songs that sound like that from artists from New Orleans, because that's literally like a genre or a sound. It's called New Orleans bounce. So I don't really know if they could get away with, oh, just because this sounds similar to that or whatever like that, they're taking, you know, elements of this music for their song or whatever like that, if they're gonna have a case. But he is being sued for it. And it's kind of crazy, but also, yeah, rappers have before stolen like whole ideas from other artists without giving them the credit, right? So the bigger artists, I mean, if you're somebody like a Drake, right, and you have somebody that has maybe 500, you know, followers on SoundCloud, and Drake or somebody in Drake's team happens to hear a song from that person, and that song is fire, even though they have like 26 plays on it, and you know, nobody even knows that the song exists, then why wouldn't they take elements of that song and recreate their own thing, right? You would hope and think that they would reach out to that person and say, yo, you snapping, I'm gonna pay you for your idea and give you writing credits or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times they figure, you know, why not just do it? And then also that huge artist doesn't really think that that song is gonna blow up to be a major hit either. It might be a side project, it might be something for a mixtape, and then all of a sudden they turn around and realize that the whole world loves that song. I mean, the same thing happened to Robin Thicke when, I think, who was it? Like Marvin Gaye's family sued Robin Thicke and Pharrell and T.I. for that one song, White Lines or whatever, and they ended up winning though, because Blurred Lines, White Lines was, you know, but Blurred Lines, but the whole situation is that, the Marvin Gaye's family actually won that lawsuit, saying that the vibe of the song is very reminiscent to a Marvin Gaye song. You know, it's just the vibe, you know. So nowadays, yeah, you could sue somebody and say that that whole vibe of the song gives me the same feeling that this song gives, right? And since, you know, this guy, you know, Sam Scully recorded this song back in the year 2000, it was clearly way before, you know, Drake ever thought of dropping that song. I think Drake was like probably like 15 in the year 2000 or something like that. So yeah, you know, there's that, right? So I don't know. And so Big Freedia and Drake, along with, you know, the record label, Cash Money, Young Money, Murder on the Beats, the producers, everybody's being sued, but mainly Drake because he's the main artist and the most popular one, and it's his song. And then Big Freedia because she is from New Orleans and she is probably was in her 20s in the year 2000 and knows all about you know, New Orleans bounce and you know, Sam Scully probably and everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if Big Freedia and Sam Scully like know each other, you know, on a personal level, right? And if that's the case, and Drake was hollering at Big Freedia about some song ideas, then guess what? Y'all do got a case. But I don't know, man. You know, it happens. You know, I've even seen people on Instagram, you know, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. I've even seen people on Instagram, you know, do videos that look exactly like mine. You know, the whole structure, the whole concept, the white background, the talking, the hip hop news and everything, because maybe they got more of a following than I do. I have, you know, 5,500 followers on Instagram, almost 6,000, like between 5,000 and 6,000. And somebody maybe with 80,000 followers, you know, will do the same thing as me and get a lot more, you know, followers and props and burn for doing the same exact content that I'm doing. But so, you know, you gotta, you know, watch it. I mean, it's all about who does it better, not who does it first. And you know, I am better than that person, so it doesn't matter. But still, the whole situation is that, yeah, bigger platforms or somebody that has a bigger following will try to steal your idea if they see that they can. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens with this. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Guys, so as y'all can see, I'm getting ready for the Highbridge Back to School giveaway. Unfortunately, it got canceled. The NYPD decided to shut it down, supposedly due to safety issues, safety concerns, which I don't understand because this week I went to 2 different hoods. I went to 2 different projects and everybody was out. There was no smoke, there was no issue, there was no beef. It was straight positive vibes only. So I don't understand how this today would be an issue. But you want to know something? I'm not even going to say how I feel because it always come back to bite me in the ass. I'm just going to go with what they say. So whatever. I'm so sorry, guys. We have thousands of school supplies. Me and A Boogie, we made sure that today we was free. We had so much activities and I'm sorry. Don't blame me. Y'all already know what's up.
So this is a shame, right? Because Cardi B is another one, right? Who always tries to give back to the community, and she be all up in New York giving back to the community, right? Which is dope. And this is another thing, like, of course, somebody else who's from that cloth who not too long ago had to like really starve and who had to like scrape up change just to eat and had to figure out where her next meal was coming from. So she knows what it feels like. So she's gonna give back to the community, and that's dope, right? Cardi B has been advertising this back to school giveaway for weeks now. She said A Boogie with the Hoodie was gonna be there, Don Q was gonna be there, and they're all from the same hood, like over there in the Bronx, right? And on the same exact day, they're gonna coordinate it because Star Brim is actually from Brooklyn, who is Cardi B's best friend, and Star Brim was gonna do her thing in Brooklyn too, a back to school giveaway. Now, it seems like the NYPD shut down Cardi B's thing just because they don't want like, and I get it, you know, I get that side of it too, right? Cardi B is a mega #1 A-list superstar, right? So if A Boogie and Don Q were gonna do it, they probably would have let it rock, right? But since Cardi B is gonna be there now, they don't want people in the streets going crazy and, you know, just crowds coming out there just because Cardi B was there. Fights might break out, shootings, stabbings, whatever, right? And especially if it's gonna be in the middle of the hood, which where Cardi B was gonna go to the middle of the hood, right? Like, yo, I'm here to give away some stuff. You know, it could be kind of dangerous, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? But they canceled it. And I guess, Cardi B obviously feels like it's unfair. And I feel like it's unfair too, because she has all this stuff that she wants to give away and needs to give away. But I guess they're just going to have to figure out a different way to do it, right? Maybe she could just hey, put out a post and, whoever comments on this post is get something sent to them, or back to school supply or whatever, or send a representative to do the back to school thing. And, Cardi B won't be there or whatever the case may be, just so that she could still give back to the community. You know what I'm saying? And then also I have a question is Star Brim still gonna do her thing over here in Brooklyn if Cardi B's thing got shut down? Because it's the same foundation, and I'm telling you, they were gonna coordinate it to do it at the same day and the same time. So, we'll see if Star Brim is still gonna do hers, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Star Brim about it, right? And of course, Star Brim is a whole lot less of a superstar than Cardi B is. Not, saying nothing about Star Brim. She's dope, she's fire, and yeah, she's great, but I'm just saying, Cardi B is Cardi B. So, I think that maybe Star Brim could still hit the hood and do it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see what happens with that. But let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Johnny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.